What's good? What's good? It's your boy Norms, and you know I'm always here with my lovely co-host in the ring with Christine.
Good
And
morning.
I look tired. You look amazing. Look at you glowing. I don't know how do you do it?
You know what? This is the thing. Like I went to a wedding yesterday, so I had to put makeup on, and I slept with my makeup on, and voila, I woke up like this, literally.
Wow, that's pretty good. But today, we have Oscar De La Hoya drops Clapback Thursday, which is my favorite time of the week. I'm not gonna lie. He said we're gonna get into that. Shakur ducks Zepeda, or does he? Shakur takes a shot at Mr. Turkey Al-Asik. TZSYU gets a victory. Keith Thurman wants smoke. Abdullah Mason, Mercado going at it. We got a lot to talk about today. You know what I mean? Right
A
after
lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We got to work on this new intro for me and you. We got to add everything on there.
Okay.
Got to find time. It's just
I know, right?
too many kids and not enough time. That's gonna be my
Man.
one. But I mean, where do we start? This weekend was pretty interesting. We had the TZSYU comeback fight, right?
Yeah, that's what you want to call it. Yeah.
Steve, what do you want to call it? Hold on.
Look. So Joey Spencer at one time, people thought, okay, this kid might be doing something.
Yeah.
But have we really? I don't want to criticize him. He needs some work. I mean, his only other loss was to Jesus Ramos, which we know is very tough. But where does he go from here? So I really feel like, the warm-up fights, the tune-up fights, I really felt like that's what it was for Zoo. Because really, I mean, after Joey, where does he go from here?
Well, we're gonna answer those questions. So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and if it was anyone else, I'd probably be on his ass. But after the fact that he had these two monstrous fights with
I agree.
Nora and with the big cut, and then he ran into the Russian monster. I don't even know his name.
Yeah.
Who just annihilated him in like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't think you could just put him in there with anyone at that point. You have confidence back. So
no, Joey was good. This was good for him.
Yeah.
But comeback fight, I wouldn't call it a comeback fight because
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this was more like, look, guys, he's not damaged goods. We threw him a piece of steak. Here it goes. At the end of the day, listen, this guy, he is a fan favorite. People really love him. Shout out to MAW.
Yes, MAW.
People want to see him. He's valuable. Listen, boxing has changed throughout the years, right? There's a lot more focus on European fighters.
Yes.
I think he fights out of Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
You talking about Joey or who?
No, I was talking about TZSYU.
Oh, TZSYU. Yeah. That's I mean, he is like their Elvis.
No, exactly. I mean, think about it. Even guys like Cambosis and like there is a bigger international impact in boxing as it once was. I mean, before it was more Americans. Now, you need guys like TZSYU. They
absolutely.
People spend money, and
well, Australia needs guys like TZSYU too, especially. We've got a bunch of champs over here. You know what I mean?
No, but that's what I mean. But for the expansion of boxing, like it's similar
absolutely.
Hey, when they started going to Europe, and all of a sudden the Europeans now catching up, and now we have guys like Luka Doncic and a lot of superstars. It's a good thing for them. So it was a good thing for TZSYU. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that he handled it how he did. He stopped them in good fashion. He didn't let it drag out 12 rounds. And the question you posed was what? What's next for him, right?
What is next?
And I think I got the answer. And I think this guy has the answer.
I think so.
Wait a minute.
I see you got through with that appetizer. I got through with my.
Hold on. Let me add that back.
I got him out in 3. You got him out in 4. I don't know about you, boy, but I'm still hungry.
We're gonna start right from the beginning.
Congratulations, TZSYU. I see you got through with that appetizer. I got through with mine. I got him out in 3, you got him out in 4. I don't know about you, boy, but I'm still hungry. Send the contract. I'll sign it by tonight. I promise you, I'll come to Australia and give you a good fight. Let's go. Send the contract.
Not the appetizer.
Not the appetizer. I mean, it wasn't the appetizer. It might have even been just the bread at the table before even with the appetizer. But
Bread, no butter.
yeah, no butter, right? But it does make sense. Listen, I think it's
Easy money.
for TZSYU. I'm not gonna lie. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Whoa. Did you say easy money for TZSYU?
I believe so. As much as I love Keith Thurman, right?
Whoa.
I feel like maybe it's not easy money, but it may be the easiest money with a name attached to it that he can get. If you really think about it, I mean, 154. Do we really feel confident saying, "Hey, Zoo, let's go you and fight Virgil," or "Let's go you"?
No, there's nobody else on the list. Sorry. I mean, no disrespect, but there's nobody else on the list that I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if Tony Harrison comes out of retirement, I don't know. I don't know, but easy money, I don't know. I mean, Jarvis, I had never heard of Jarvis, honestly, until he fought Thurman. But he was a live dog and he was tough. Thurman went in there and I saw glimmers of him, what he used to be. And I think that he's looking good. And I don't know that I would bet against. I don't know yet. I'm not ready to pick, but easy money? No.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong with that. Maybe I was.
I think so. I mean, Thurman is a heavy hitter. He's a knockout artist. He's still moving around. He's bouncing good. He's looking good. I don't know. I wouldn't say easy money.
I would say the inactivity for him for all these years coming back. I don't know if he's as dedicated as he once was. And TZSYU is more active. He's there.
He is more active. Yes.
He's a tough puncher. He's a big puncher. I just feel like I think what's that? That's Thurman's second fight?
Yeah.
At 154.
Yes, and in quite a few years that he even fight. Period.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right about that.
I feel like and there's something that's kept Keith Thurman out the ring, whether it's been injuries. Whether it's the fact that he lost his hairline, I don't know. And I like Keith. I think Keith is very entertaining, but I don't know if he's dedicated enough. I think he did enough against a very below average opponent. I think Keith Thurman. I think TZSYU, if you're his camp, I think that is probably the biggest matchup. That maybe to say. I don't think Thurman. We don't know if his power is going to travel to 154. I don't know if he is. You know what I mean? I think Zoo can handle his power. It's not Bachram in there. It's not.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we know Zoo has a chin. That's for sure. We do know he has a chin. I think closer to time, if they sign the contract and we see what's going on both sides, then I'll make a prediction. But I don't think it'll be easy for either one of them.
Yeah.
And I don't mind seeing it. I mean, whenever I first heard that Thurman was coming back, I was just like, why? But then his last fight, I said, okay, all right, well let's see. Throw somebody else in there. So we got another name. The 154s.
Absolutely, and I think this is a big fight for him. I think a lot of people like Keith Thurman. There is interest. He's somebody that's fought of the likes of his only loss was Manny Pacquiao, right?
Yeah.
This is somebody said not the headline. Top of the morning to my man Roland, always showing
Top of the morning. I mean,
not the hairline. No, the hairline. Keith Thurman with the ponytail was a different character. I mean, this is Keith without the ponytail. So, I like the fight. I think it makes sense for Zoo, especially trying to build back some momentum at 154. At one point, he was looked at as one of the boogeymen. You got Keith Conwell right in that division. There's a lot of smoke in that division. I think this matchup, in terms of just notoriety, a name on your resume, and a good victory, which I think TZSYU needs. Now, will he beat Thurman, does Thurman return to the days of old? I don't know, but I think this may be the safest big fight for
Ooh,
Tim Tszyu.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, maybe if Tony Harrison gets out of retirement, that's the safest. But
Yeah, big
Kane
move.
Kane Beastie, hello everybody in the chat. He said that Keith's only loss was to Pac-Man, because he underestimated him. I mean, let's really think about this. He is a good fighter. And
Very.
he is, we don't know. Not the hairline, goddamn MMA podcast.
Hold on,
We'll
you
see.
think he underestimated Manny? I don't think he underestimated. How do you underestimate Manny?
Well, I mean, he that's what I say too, but I think maybe that's what he said. Maybe because he was towards the end of his career, Manny was, and he thought, well, maybe he's a little rusty.
I think that's an excuse. You never underestimate a legend. You take him out. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't show that he was.
Wait. So like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I'm just saying.
Okay, Jake Paul, I'm talking about like Oscar fighting Chavez. It's kind of similar to that in a sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Oscar's not going to let Chavez hang around. And when you look at his record, it doesn't say Julio Cesar Chavez washed. It just says Julio Cesar Chavez. So to me, in those instances, you got to kind of take him out. It is what it is. Somebody said, but Thurman is an elite boxer puncher. We don't know that at 154. I mean, he hasn't fought he fought one time in like 3 or 4 years. I mean, him and Errol Spence are going neck and neck for inactivity at this point. So,
yeah,
well, I don't know.
Well, Errol Spence fought more recently though, actually. So
yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, so he had to pop out and show. I mean, listen, I want to see the fight. I think it's a big fight for Tim Tszyu. Again, I don't have all my buttons keyed in, guys. So
yeah,
I thought you physically repulsive.
Oh no, that's not it. But anyways, I'm trying to figure these out. But I would say that would be the move. How did you think Tim Tszyu looked anyway?
I think that Tim Tszyu looked good. He looked good. I mean, I like Tim Tszyu, but he's not like my top 10. I don't know. And like I said, I'm gonna get criticism and I do, and it's okay, but I've just never been so crazy about him. I haven't. He looked good. He did what he needed to do. I mean, Joey Spencer, God bless him, he needed to get him out of there, and he did. And I figured that he would.
He had a good payday to serve the purpose. Roland Curtis of Vermont, off Vermont Avenue. These Bronx dudes, you got to watch out with them. I'm telling you, Christine. What do you think of what Tszyu said in the post-fight in the ring when the interviewer asked Tszyu about Thurman? Tszyu jokingly smiled and said, "Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract." I think it's been in play. There was a fight a long time ago. I think he knows it. His camp knows it. This has been set up for a while. Now it's about the amount of money, I guess. I don't think Tszyu's going to be stressing about the money. He's more looking for a comeback and possibly start being able to chase a big belt again. But I think this happens maybe in September or something like that. I just maybe on an undercard of a Canelo fight. Who knows? I don't know. Everybody's talking about getting on that undercard for some strange reason.
Yeah, but come on, like, would you really want to see Thurman and Tszyu on the undercard of Canelo?
I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm not mad at seeing. I like Tim Tszyu anytime. I don't think Tszyu and Thurman is like a major fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think Tszyu needs a showcase where or he has a really, I mean, let's say he goes in there, he dominates Tszyu on a Canelo card, which possibly is on Netflix, and we're probably talking about 100 million people tuned into the Crawford and Canelo fight. That's a lot of exposure. I think it just makes a lot of sense as if you're trying to market this guy like he's back. If he goes and gets that victory, and it makes sense for Thurman too. What if Thurman goes out there and dominates Tszyu? Now he's up there.
I see what you're saying. But do the fans I mean, there's so many other matchups we can put on there. I'm just saying. And Thurman said he would go to Australia. I mean, that is like where Tszyu, gets all of his power, everybody's there for him, and he just feels good and comfortable. But maybe they will be on the undercard. I don't know.
Well, Ashley does not agree. Ashley Review says, no, we don't want to see that. I'm sorry, Ashley.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a cool fight. It's a great matchup. But do we want to see it on the undercard? No, not me.
If he does go to Australia, I mean, that'd be interesting. But It's not a fight that I'm running to turn the tape, the tape on either. But
yeah,
I mean, it is a good fight for Tim Tszyu. Wasn't Keith last fight in Australia? Yeah,
oh, that's a good question. I think it was, but
think it was.
that's a good question. Yeah,
I think it was because it was like at 6 a.m. or
it
something.
was so long ago. Do I even remember?
No, Thurman fought like a month ago. No, wasn't it?
I know. Against Jarvis.
Yeah,
You're right. Yes.
Jarvis. Whatever.
Jarvis.
The United States is terrible. That at least he isn't competing while injured. It's definitely time for Thurman to step on the gas. I don't know. I mean, the Thurman inactivity is kind of weird because I know, it was a few fights where he would take body shots to go down. Was it injuries that weren't healing? We don't know. Like, I really don't
And
know.
it could have been just personal. I mean, didn't he get married? And he was, the wife's like, come on, honey.
You gotta listen to the wife.
Exactly.
Wasn't Keith last fight in Australia? Yep. Goddamn says maybe the prelims of the Canelo. Wow, not the prelims.
Okay, I can agree with you. Goddamn MMA podcast prelims.
Thurman did fight on a Wednesday. It was like Wednesday or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was during the week. Like, come on, and Norbs wants to put him on the undercard of Canelo and Bud. Like, come on, man.
I mean, Keith Thurman is still I mean, what do you want to see? Mason, Mercado? I don't know.
No, there's I could put a list together. Trust me.
I mean, but those are really big fights. Alexander Wilson, I think Tszyu is too big of a draw in Aussie to be an undercard fighter. I mean, I think they're trying to get him back to where. Listen, when he was coming over here, it was supposed to be the inauguration of Tim Tszyu becoming that guy at 154, and he ran into that elbow, and hasn't been the same since. So, they are trying to bring him back.
Yeah, that's why I said he needs to be in Australia. That he needs to feel the energy and get back in there, and then he'll come back over here.
Tim Tszyu was more serious when he was about to fight Thurman last time, but now he seemed more lighthearted about signing the contract and fighting him. I think it's more being humbled. I mean, getting an ass whooping like he got, maybe, and seeing how people turned on him. There was a lot of people, he said it in interviews, that turned on him, that maybe weren't on his side no more. People saying he was done. Eddie Hearn, again, strikes again with the, with the Devin Haney situation, kind of him. That was the guy, and all of a sudden, every time he gets opportunity, he can't make it. I mean, these are comments that he was facing. So,
yeah, we hear it time and time again where boxers are like, boxing is such a lonely sport. It's like you're on top of the world, the king of the world one day, and then you get a loss and everybody turns their back and they don't want to even look at you anymore. It's a very lonely sport. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. And one loss can really, really derail plans. And
yeah,
Tim took a loss that was devastating. Like, it was, I mean, the two biggest losses last year with beatings were probably, and his lasted shorter, was him and Devin Haney. The only difference was Devin Haney's and Ryan was on a bigger stage, and his lasted a lot shorter. So, those were really big losses. And
very big.
A lot of fights happen midweek here in Australia. Oh, he's in Australia. You're out there. All right. What's up, buddy? Our football season, NRL and AFL, which dominate the weekend. I didn't even know you guys play football. You're talking about soccer, right? Like, why do they call it football? I never understood.
We're the only ones that call American football and don't call soccer football. We're the only ones.
Thurman and Tszyu would not want to be an undercard. Positive vibe. That's my guy, Moeed. He loves Edgar Berlanga. He has Edgar Berlanga bed sheets, my guy. This is my boy. Positive.
Oh, really? So Edgar Berlanga. Okay.
Man,
all right. Okay.
But let's move forward. Where should we go? There's so much to talk about. There's so
much to talk about.
There
is so much to talk about.
How about Shakur Stevenson? Is he ducking Zepeda? Oscar De La Hoya goes out and tweets pretty much that Oscar said, all that talking for you to duck Zepeda. Shakur then responds, as you guys can see on the screen, I'm not done negotiating. One thing about me, I'm the champ. So whether the fight gets done with these people or not, I'm not stepping or whatever. And then he says, crazy thing on my soul, I would cook dude so badly. There's a mismatch, blah, blah, blah. The interesting thing was he said he was promised an amount of money from Turkey, Al-Asik, and is holding him to it. I mean, there's a couple interesting things we could take from that. Is he ducking Zepeda? I mean, this fight's supposed to happen like 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you could say yes and you could say no. Like the thing is, how do we know what money was offered? Was it written down? Was it whispered in his ear? Like what's the proof on that? And I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying, why would Turkey not now, give him the money, if they had this conversation? I thought it was kind of interesting that he said, what did he say? Your towel something. And I was just like, wow, that was kind of
Racist.
Well, yeah, I was just like, okay. But I don't know. Is he ducking because he's not taking the amount of money that is possibly being offered to him by Oscar, or was there really an amount, and why is the amount changed? I don't know. It just depends on if you are a Shakur lover or not.
So Ashley's review says Shakur stated that Turkey wants to pay him less than what he originally offered, and it's probably because he don't feel like Shakur can sell tickets to pay-per-view. Now, this is interesting.
He's watching Twitter and what everybody says. Sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely. It's interesting you say that, because I watched a video of Two-Tone, right? Two-Tone put out a video and says, this guy sold 350,000 pay-per-views. No, he didn't. Stop. He was on the undercard of Better Beef and Beevil. And that was a mega card that sold that amount. That wasn't Shakur Stevenson fighting a carpenter. That's one. Two, I think there's a point that people are missing, and I think the point is this: Dana White is involved. Dana White doesn't like to spend money, and you can tell he's already saying. And I said this before. I said the conversations had to have happened already, where Turkey's like, I'm spending too much money. I promised these guys a lot of money. I'm not paying that type of money this time. I'm not paying for you to fight Williams to pay the X amount of money. And maybe it's the De La Hoya thing. Maybe, he feels a way about De La Hoya feeling away, going public about it, taking shots at Dana White. It's a very interesting, if you look at kind of plot twist to everything that's going on right now. Listen.
See, I don't think that. Like, I honestly feel like, Uncle Turk is very active on Twitter.
Yeah,
very active. He sees all the comments. He sees the comments about Shakur that people make. That they're going to take a nap. He's a snoozer. He's not exciting. He's this and that. So I think that would have something to do with it. So yes, it is partly about the money, but it's also like the reason why it's about the money is because he's seeing everybody's comments.
Yeah.
Let's face it, social media can kill you, if it's negative, or bring you alive if it's positive.
So what you're saying is you feel like Turkey may have taken offense or is taking heed to what people are saying on Twitter in regards to Shakur.
I don't know how sensitive he is as far as taking offense. I thought it was kind of like, he probably shouldn't have said that.
What he did with Benavidez, like, it basically told him to go F himself. Like,
yeah. So, that could be it too. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it could be partly that, and I think it could be also that people don't really want to see him. I am a boxing head. I love Shakur's style of fight. Is he very exciting? Not really. But so most people don't want to see him. I would like to see him against somebody that might change him up a little bit and give him some problems, just to see how he would react and how he would neutralize whatever's coming to him. But for the most part, fans don't really want to see him, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate because a lot of fans do want to see him, but it's more so against Gervonta Davis. And I think Keyshawn Davis, is it Keyshawn? Yeah, Keyshawn Davis as well as Lamont Roach have taken a lot of steam away from that fight because many people say, Keyshawn Davis will give him a fight, a better fight, and he'll fight. And also in regards to Lamont, he's already shown that he can beat Gervonta Davis. So I think you might be right, but at the same time, I think it goes back to what we were saying. Turkey is not. I don't think Turkey's out there to just continue to drop these huge bags anymore. I think he's.
Yeah. I think so. Because it's not a never-ending pot. MAW says if Shakur doesn't like the new offer, he doesn't have to take it. People are allowed to change their mind. We might offer to pay so much. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and he is allowed. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants.
I'm sorry to cut you off. No, this is my thing with Shakur, right? You're looking to be a superstar. Your style doesn't, and the way you're fighting at this point isn't allowing that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Haney was at the top of his game. He
Mm-hmm.
offered you a deal. Again, it was a 75-25 split. You didn't think it was beneficial to you for whatever reason. Maybe that could have been there's going to be a point where you're going to have to take a certain amount in order to, or in order to become stardom. Now, again, is it William Zepeda? Probably not. But you haven't been impressive. Maybe Zepeda fits that style that you can dominate. A lot of people do believe that he can give him problems. I don't know, but I feel like, and I think you're right in the point where maybe he's smelling his shit too much, in a sense. Maybe he believes he's worth more than what he is. Maybe he thinks he's selling out. Listen, when I seen that ridiculous blog of 350,000 pay-per-views sold by Kurt, I was like, dude, that's not true. Why are you saying that? Like he was on the undercard of Better Beef and Bivol.
Yeah.
And he fought a carpenter. Nobody bought that to watch him fight a carpenter.
Yeah. I sometimes I just have to really keep scrolling. Because
Did you see what I was talking about? What I'm referring to?
I know what you're talking about.
I was like, wait, why are people saying?
I've had other issues with him on things that he said. That's why I just don't even yeah.
And listen, I don't know whatnot, but I was just like, dude, he did not sell 350,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah,
because I guarantee you, if he sold 350,000 pay-per-views, I don't think Turkey obviously would have a problem with him fighting Zepeda or paying him what he's asking for.
Yeah, and like I said, if Uncle Turk did throw some money out there that a number and he's stuck on it, well then okay, then I get it. But I don't know who else is going to pay the big money. I don't know. I just really don't know at this point. Like, we don't know if that was a real offer. Was it written down? Was it just, like I said, whispered in his ear? Like, what was it? And, if he fights Zepeda, I believe, he'll beat him. I do.
Yeah.
Does he believe he'll beat him? I don't know. Or else he might be like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody, ESPN part, that was the first time. The second part, I don't think there was the whole card was pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken, in the last one. When he says, I don't think Shakur's ducking. I'll tell you this, in terms of Shakur, it's like you're getting to a point in your career where either you're a star or you're not. I mean, we can't. People right now are clamoring to see guys like Abdullah Mason because the excitement. You're starting to get surpassed by a lot of guys that are coming up that are willing to lay it on the line.
Yeah.
Shakur, came from the Olympics, silver medalist, right? If I'm not mistaken, had everything, but he just hasn't been as exciting. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And there are other guys out there that are, hence Gervonta Davis, and Brian Garcia. I mean, for whatever reason, these guys are laying on the line. They're taking these fights, and Shakur, by the time we blink an eye, is going to be 30.
I know. Seriously. I mean, we've got Keyshawn, too. And it's like, I mean, even like Frank Martin hasn't fought in a minute, but he's up there too,
It's just like, I feel like there's so much talent coming up.
There
is. You're holding on to what exactly? Like, you're going to have to eventually put up or shut up. You're chasing Gervonta, which Gervonta has no interest in fighting you. So might as well go up or take some time off. I mean, we're tired of hearing about the hands. Take some time off, go up to 140, get some smoke, go fight Teofimo, go fight Ryan Garcia. What are we waiting for? Like, every time
I agree with you. It's like there's been a lot of talk. Let's just, let's be talking about what's next and let's make it happen and let's see it, on BoxRec so we know it's official. I agree with you.
Yeah, he says, I think Turkey has Shakur's back. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, Turkey's not trying to just outright just pay guys whatever. And I think he set the bar with Benavidez. He's like, yo, that's it. I've shelled out a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's time to start getting some of this back. And I don't think he's gonna. I mean, whatever he paid Canelo was ridiculous too. That's gonna be an effect.
Thomas Davis, did y'all mention Shakur being racist? We did not say that he was racist. We said that he said something that maybe Turkey got offended to. That's it.
I said racist because I heard towel and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So, I wasn't saying he was racist, but
right.
Look at Ashley.
We seriously need to see 135 unification ASAP. I believe
Not gonna
that
happen.
too.
It's not gonna happen.
MAW, but yeah, is it going to happen? You're
No.
right. That we want to see it, but is it going to happen? You're right. I don't know.
Ashley's review, she'll never buy a ticket to Shakur. No, we're never going to see a unification at 135, especially as long as Tank Davis is the champion. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's not gonna happen. You know, these guys, and that's the problem with boxing, and you know, period. Like, these guys don't want to see each other. That's what makes 154 so much more exciting right now. That these guys all want the smoke. They want to see each other. So
that's true.
You know,
That's
Bruce.
very true.
Good morning in the ring, Christine. Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. My guy, how you doing?
She
Good
looks
morning,
like
good morning.
God. Jesus Christ. Roland, shout out for the donations. The only main event credited for pay-per-view buys. I think the first event was that. The second one, I think it wasn't. What do you agree with, Ash? I don't know what you're agreeing with right now. These comments are coming in crazy right now. TBV tried to put 250K buys on Shakur versus Padley, but it was for the main event. So what do you guys think? I'm with you. I mean, there was not 350,000 views to see Shakur versus Padley. Nobody was seeing. Nobody was going to pay.
Oh, no.
Stop. What is, like, why do people make these things up? Like,
you know, and I just really have to wonder, like, you mentioned the hands, you know, yeah, I mean, so maybe he's having even more issues with the hands than we know about it, because honestly, Shakur can make some really, really big fights and get several paydays, you know, and be more active. So, and against people that we want to see him against. So I think he's almost a detriment to himself by fighting the people that he's fighting, and talking about the hands all the time. I think you're right. I mean, I don't know.
That's why I said, even with Haney, eventually you're gonna have to do something to whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather had to do it with a Toro Gotti.
Exactly.
You know, he had Gotti was that guy. Floyd was like, all right, I'm gonna destroy this guy, and I'm gonna show you. Ends up getting the De La Hoya fight. Going out and being De La Hoya. Like, these are the things you have to do. And it's getting to a point where it's like, bro, what fight will we remember Shakur Stevenson for at this point? And that's just the facts. I mean,
you're right. I mean, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
You know, and I mean, listen, and it's not like there's a lack of options. You could still go to 140. You got Teal, you got Ryan, you got Matias, you have Power. You got a lot of guys. You got Pitbull, you got Rayo. Like, there's a lot of guys that are still quality.
Yeah, if he went there, that Teal fight would be good for me, because their styles are, like, you know, different, and that would be a nice show.
You know what's funny? I got Kenny Ellis actually spoke on the De La Hoya. I mean, I'm sorry, not De La Hoya. He spoke on which I thought I had it up here. I did. It's not here right now. And he basically said that he feels like Shakur is just waiting for Gervonta to get old before they fight.
I did see that somewhere. I did
here
see
it is.
that
Hold on. This is
what he said. Saying, hey, you know, I'll wait till September. What do you think about, you know, Shakur saying that he would wait for the Tank fight?
I see that coming from Shakur. Wait as long as he can.
Wait as long as he can?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Trying to age him out.
You think that Shakur will try to age Tank out?
Yeah.
Age? I mean, yo, let's talk what we just said. By the time we blink, Shakur's going to be 30 years old. Right? Gervonta doesn't want to fight anyone, right, of merit, to be honest with you. He's forced to fight Lamont Roach, which he really doesn't want to fight. Shakur doesn't want to fight anybody dangerous, and he's willing to wait for Tank. Doug, how much longer are we going to wait? There's guys coming up that are going to take your spot, Shakur.
And he's willing to wait for Tank, and there's no guarantee that Tank will ever fight him. Tank, there's no guarantee of that, you know, so he just will be waiting, and then what? You know, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. MAWH Tank out, ridiculous. Yeah. And
that is one of the dumbest comments I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. And I like Kenny Ellis, but I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it's not even dumb of what he's saying, it actually makes sense. That's what makes it even dumber. Like, you got one guy that doesn't want to fight anybody. Then you got the other guy that doesn't want to fight anybody unless it is Tank, but he's willing to wait as long as possible to fight him. And it's just ridiculous.
It's a circus right now. It's a circus. MAW said Tank versus Keyshawn, Loma might happen now. Top Rank and PBC willing to work together, and Zepeda might be confident to win now since Shakur has damaged hands. Great comments. Yeah. And I love to see that Top Rank and PBC are working together, because we're going to see, hopefully, some of these matchups come together. And then
I don't know, man. After I watched that clapback Thursday, we're gonna talk about Top Rank.
I just want to say really quickly. I don't know. Did you see the Elvis Rodriguez fight?
I missed it.
Okay. Okay.
Tell us about it, please.
No, it was like, I really like Elvis. I thought this was going to be his coming back, homecoming. Yeah. Because he was a very big name before he got the loss against Sims, and I happened to be there in Vegas. That was just a great show, and it was an upset. But I thought, it probably could have been a win for him, but they did not count when Delgado fell into the ropes, as an 8 count. And I was talking about this to somebody else, but I guess the reason that they did not count that as an 8 count, because nothing touched the ground, touched the canvas, like nothing other than his feet. But he was also held up by the rope. So I thought that it could have been an 8 count. It should have at least been a draw, in my opinion. But I just wanted to know what your thoughts were about that. But
yeah, I missed that. I was actually out. And then I caught the TZSYU fight. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah,
we could definitely.
Yeah. I had to do some of that. There was so much boxing, but we had a tournament, we had other stuff going on, so I have to go back to watch some of those too.
So do I. She said like how Mayweather waited to fight Pacquiao. You're talking about Shakur and Tank. That would see, at least they were fighting other guys that were good. Shakur's not even fighting. Like, Mayweather can say, all right, yeah, it took long, but I was still fighting the Maidanas and all those guys in between those fights. Like, this guy's not fighting anyone. I mean, he tried to fight Schofield, and he's very inactive because of his hands. It's just a lot of stupid stuff. My man says, Cano says Elvis got the short end of the stick. I thought he won. A lot of people are saying that they feel like Elvis won.
Yeah. I thought he did too. I did. Was it a robbery? No, it wasn't a robbery, but I thought he should have won, and at least it should have been a draw. And then, so I know you probably didn't watch this, but I just kind of want to know what the chat feels about Abdullah Mason. Everybody's talking about him. He's coming. He's 21. He's young. I just want to know, what do you think about him? I know you didn't get to see this last fight, but what are your thoughts on him?
Me, I love Abdullah Mason. I think Abdullah Mason is very talented. Good puncher, willing to lay it out on the line. I think he showed a lot of grit in his last fight, especially after getting dropped by somebody that nobody knows a couple times. Kind of got up. I mean, he showed he's still green, but he also showed that he could come back through adversity. And I like that about Abdullah, especially being so young at 21 years old.
Yeah.
I think Abdullah has everything to look forward to. It's funny you mentioned him because Tito Mercado called him out. And he was like, he's asked, I'll put him asleep, and that hype will be out real quick. I'm not mad at this fight with Tito Mercado.
Yeah, no, me neither. And that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, do you feel like right now at 21, with the things that Abdullah has been showing us, is he ready for big names? Is he ready for the big dogs?
Well, the problem is this: when you're doing what you're doing and your popularity is growing like he does, he doesn't have the luxury of now slower grooming. It's similar to like, all right, when he's going to get in there with the big boys. Although he is 21, he's still a baby.
He is
similar to even Camaro Moten. It's very similar. Like, people are going to want to see these guys fight bigger competition or in bigger cards. And Abdullah is knocking people out. Like
Yeah, he's got like 16 knockouts, and I think he's 18 and 0, 16 knockouts. Yes.
and I think he fought like 7 times last year. So I feel
Yeah,
like
he's very active.
I feel like he's a star in the making. And again, that's what people want to see. They want to see guys putting it out there. And that's what I was saying. I think Abdullah's 135, if I'm not mistaken. 130, 135, right? I mean, that's another guy that's in Shakur's division that is going to start taking his light. Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis. I mean, it was starting to get guys that are willing to fight and are doing a lot of things. And Abdullah happens to be one of them. Mercado came off a big knockout win. I think Mercado and him would be a really good matchup. And, Mercado's going to sell it. Maybe this is the fight to make. I don't know. But we all want to see Abdullah Mason in a fight with someone that's going to challenge him at this point.
Canelo Loco says that right now he would beat Tank. That he feels like he would beat Tank.
Wow.
I'm not secure to say that. Like, honestly, like from a coaching perspective, if I have to fight Abdullah Mason with my guy, I see a few little flaws that need to be fixed before he gets in there with the likes of a Tank Davis.
Yeah.
He punches from his chest, and a lot of times after he throws a jab, like he just drops his hands. So there's a few little things that coaches will look at and look for, and then all it takes is one shot. So I want to see some of those things tweaked a little bit, and I know he's got great coaches and he's a smart young man, but before he gets in there with the likes of like a Tank,
Yeah, I mean,
then he needs to fix those things. Let's get him in there with Kid Austin. Let's get him in there with Kid Austin.
And let's be honest too. Let's not downplay Tanks. And he's a very intelligent boxer. That's one thing.
Absolutely, and power. Yes.
And we can't take away how talented Lamont Roach is and what he was able
exactly
to basically neutralize what he had to do.
Right.
So we can't jump the gun. Abdullah's very young. He got caught by a guy with the worst haircut I've ever seen in my life twice, and he went down. If that happens with Gervonta Davis,
right,
he doesn't survive. So
I mean, I dare say even Roach would give him a time. I'm just saying.
Keyshawn Davis. I mean, guys in that division. We still got Andy Cruz, right? We got
Andy Cruz is still begging for a fight.
I wouldn't mind. How about Andy Cruz versus Abdullah Mason? I mean,
there you go.
I'm not mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. But I do like Abdullah Mason, very offensive. But again, I'm with you. I want to see more
defense,
more defense, more countering and things of that nature. Like, you can't get caught like that, especially when you step up in competition.
Yeah.
Positive vibes is Emiliano versus Abdullah. There are fights to be made. I mean,
there are fights to be made. He is a young star in the making, and he's going to be up there with the greats.
He said, I don't know what he's talking about with this fight. I didn't see that. I mean, he said, what do you think about referee in the Adele versus?
I didn't see that, Bruce.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Dang, that is a big call. And it's Cano Loco. Don't call him Canelo.
Yeah,
he hates Canelo.
Cano. Yeah, that is a big call. It is a big call.
Yeah, he's not ready for Tank right now. But again, give him a couple years. Let him get some more ring experience. He needs to go some rounds. He needs to go some rounds against somebody who's going to push him to the limit.
Ashley's review, yes. I don't see him winning against Tank right now. He needs to work on his defense. Absolutely. I say the same.
He said, I'm not jumping the gun. He felt this 3 fight. Cano, you're jumping the gun.
You're jumping the gun. But it's okay. Respect to you. Respect to you. We're all entitled. Kane has brought up Boots fight this weekend. We can't wait either.
Stanionis, finally.
Can't wait either.
I mean, I can't wait to see Boots live up to Boots' hype. I'm gonna be honest.
That part. That part.
We all had Boots as the next superstar in boxing. Fights this dude. I forgot his name again. Then has a rematch. Same thing. Tries too hard. Doesn't live up to the hype. Gets a lot of pressure. Then does these
Stanionis. Boots with Stanionis. Yeah.
So now he's trying to unify. I mean, hopefully we unify at 147. Maybe after that he could go and everybody's talking about Barrios unifying with Norman, and then maybe we get the big unification after that. I feel like, and it's gonna be tough. I mean, there's a lot of smoke near him, right? But I feel like, and this is just me honestly. I think if he beats Stanionis, I think he goes and fights Norman, hopefully to unify. But if not, I still think he stays put at 147 and waits for Teofimo and guys like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney to go to 147. I don't see him going to 154, but I feel like if these guys end up going to 147, now he has some big star fights that can actually help him, propel him. But the question is going to be this: is Boots as good as advertised? That's a question for you, Coach.
I have the same question. I really do. On paper, he looks amazing. He has a great skill set. I mean, he's textbook. He's textbook. But I want to see him in a war. Like, I think that we're going to see him in a war against Stanionis, and I'm here for it. And then I'll be able to make a better, assessment. Assessment. Oh, there goes my earbuds. Oh. Yeah, better assessment. So I'm here for it.
No, listen, there's a lot of I'll say this. There's a lot of expectation. And same thing with Abdullah Mason, okay? Abdullah Mason is getting expectations. People want to see him fight bigger guys. Now, he's 21, right?
Yeah.
This guy's supposed to have been already out of here, okay? He didn't fight Virgil Ortiz. He dodged a bullet. He didn't go to 154. That would have been a bullet that he didn't want to take. He stood at 147. He understands what's facing him. But Abdullah has time to take some of these fights.
Yes.
Boots has to do this now. He has to answer now.
Agreed.
We're tired of seeing Boots.
30-something fights in. Yeah, let's do something.
What are we waiting on right now? And again, you had the homecoming parties. You're the one that had these events in Philly. These are things that you said you wanted to fight Bud Crawford. These are major fights. For a guy that said you wanted to fight Bud Crawford, you got to be more impressive. When people wanted to see, let's say, Manny and Floyd, right? That's what they were calling it or whatever. They were knocking people out. They were winning fights. Your expectation levels have been risen, and it's because of what you've done and what you've said.
Absolutely. So you're so right. And it was so funny. I'll never forget this. It's like Bud gave him such a compliment. He's like, you know what, you remind me of a young me. Like, you're so talented. He's like, no, we're nothing alike. Like, I was like, ooh, okay.
No, and listen, again, and it's funny we mentioned, we're speaking on Boots and expectation, and he needs a big victory this weekend. Like, he
does. He needs a big victory, not just a victory. You're right, a big victory.
Yeah, he needs a statement. He needs to make a statement.
Absolutely.
And again, the difference between him and Abdullah's 21. This guy's already 30 fights in.
Yeah, Boots definitely has to stop Stanionis.
Yeah, and he has to unify, and he has to win fights in impressive fashion and not look like he's. When he fought Karen, it looked like he was trying to, and he just couldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be a stoppage.
No, absolutely. But I like Boots. I think Boots is very, very talented. Very, could fight from both stances. Could switch. He's very. I mean, a lot of the comparisons to Bud were warranted, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was a great compliment, and I would have taken it graciously, but he was almost offended. It seemed like I was like, "Oh."
No, I mean, Kane Beasley says Boots is the sharpest boxer out there, and training is very intense. I really believe in him. Sharpest boxer out there. That's a tough thing to say. I'm not going to say it. When you got guys like, I'm being honest.
Sharp.
Yeah, he is. But when you got guys like Bud, and it's hard to say that. I mean, Bam. Is anybody sharp?
There's many. I mean, the sharpest. No. Is he sharp? Yes. Does he train hard? Everybody trains hard, and I'm not even trying to be funny, and you believe in him. I'm glad you're not the only one. I want to believe in him the way you believe in him. And this weekend, then, I may be a believer, and it's just what I see, but let's see what happens. See what happens.
They said you look great. Your hair is popping, Christine.
Thank you. You know what? Like I said, it was so funny because, like I said, I went to a wedding last night, and I woke up like this because I didn't take my makeup off and barely comb my hair. But thank you.
Boots is stop Stanionis. This is my 5th prediction. He needs to. He really needs to. He really, really needs to. Or we're going back to what is he gonna do? And then Brian Norman just came off of a major victory where he just He looks good. So
He
are
did.
you going to lose the popularity at 147 because Mr. Brian Norman Jr.
Right.
is really good?
Coming up.
It's a lot. It's a
Another
lot of
shark in the water, honey.
Let's move forward. I wanted to play this.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of time, but we have to play this. My main man, Oscar. Right here.
Segment in boxing that gives you the facts and makes you laugh. It's Clapback Thursday. I've been quiet for a minute because I've been collecting as much information as possible over the past month just so I can be accurate. And it's finally time to unleash the facts. So a bombshell lawsuit was filed at the end of February in California federal court suing top-ranked boxing president Todd DeBuff for breach of contract, promissory fraud, and unjust enrichment. The lawsuit claims DeBuff failed to pay high-profile boxing manager William Keane for securing fights and used alleged crime boss Daniel Kinahan to secure Tyson Fury fights.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh, and the lawsuit also suggests that all or most of this happened behind Bob Arum's back.
Disgusted.
Todd kept it a secret from him. And just when Todd thought things couldn't get any worse, oh shit, they did. ESPN confirmed they will not be renewing their deal with Top Rank, which is set to expire this summer. So, in other words, Top Rank has no network to broadcast their fights on. I love Bob Arum. We have a lot of history together. What he accomplished as a promoter is legendary, and I'm so sad to see how it ended up. But this is what happens when you place your company in the hands of a scumbag.
Bruh, chill.
Bye-bye, Top Rank.
Wow.
Bruh.
I
Oh,
mean,
shit.
didn't Top Rank just sign a situation with the Zone? Right?
Yes.
I thought they did. I mean, Oscar's shooting off the hip, or just first of all,
No. Top Rank and PBC.
yes, they did.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of shows now. His video kind of shows why they're more willing to work with Al Heyman and PBC. You know, they're in some trouble apparently.
So you're saying that the reason why they're going to work with PBC is because of this Todd DeBoof situation, not because of Uncle Turk.
I think it's both. I think it's a double whammy. I mean, Turk ain't paying for it. You're dealing now. I mean, with this lawsuit, depending on how it goes, right? Legal fees, how much money is going to be rewarded, unjust enrichment. So there's no cap on unjust enrichment. I don't think people understand that. You can be rewarded, whatever. It's not like it's a set amount. So it doesn't look good.
Are we shocked that there's some dirty stuff going on in boxing? Like, are we shocked?
No. But it's bad. That's really bad.
It is bad. It is bad.
I love Clapback Thursday, by the way. I think he needs to, and he keeps dropping it on Friday. First of all, Oscar, get your days right, all right? Because you have me sitting here at the edge of my seat. Bob Arum has done a lot for boxing. He's 94 years old, looks great, still moving, still has all of his marbles. It's unfortunate that this is happening to such a big brand in the history of boxing, but I feel like this is all going to lead to possibly them getting bought out by a Turkey Al-Sheikh. This is
you think so?
I mean, listen, he attempted to before, right? There wasn't enough money. Now, if you're getting sued and you have all this going on, it's kind of like buying for cheap.
Oh gosh,
I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, I'm not the guy with the billions. That guy is.
Right. No, you're right. You know, you're right. I think wasn't there was a little bit more. He was also talking about Dana, you know, because this. Oh no, I was going to say because I don't know. I hadn't even thought about like Top Rank, you know, possibly if they're even, you know, approached to sell. I don't know.
Listen, we're gonna get into that part too because remember, Top Rank has people, right? They have fighters,
right? Yeah.
Fighters. So does Oscar, right? Now so Oscar kind of exposes all of that, and then he gets into this, which I thought was very interesting.
Speaking of scumbags, everyone has been asking me for my opinion and thoughts on Dana White attempting to enter the boxing space. Again! And after collecting as much information as possible, I'm finally ready to answer. Okay, here's the truth. You can't run a boxing organization when you don't have any fighters. And right now, TKO and Dana have 0 fighters.
What?
This means they're likely in it for the long haul and are trying to build something years from now when fighters' contracts come up with current promoters, and they will try to start attempting to sign them.
Come on now, dog.
What else do we know? TKO's supposed fighter pay / salaries were leaked a few weeks ago. And if these are real, holy shit!
Come on, man.
Dana's gonna have several problems. Number 1, no fighter is going to fight for these pennies. The majority of their prospects will fight 1 or 2 times a year and be forced to survive on minimum pay. You're wrong! And keep in mind, they will be fighting tough fights. Dana said, the best must fight the best. So their careers will be short. Number 2, no pay-per-view fighter will fight for $750,000. You're telling me the Canelos and the Ryans of this world are going to agree to this kind of pay cut?
We might not like it.
No! And most importantly, number 3, if these numbers are real, the UFC fighters will be so pissed. The TKO boxers will be getting paid so much more than they are. UFC fighters are already disgusted with how little they get paid for putting their lives on the line. If you recall, Dana already tried several times to get into the boxing space in the past. Remember Zuffa, which never even got off the ground?
The reason you've never seen me do anything is because...
Hold on, we continue here. Hold on.
Do anything is because...
When Dana doesn't have the funding and the business brains already in place, like the Fertitas or Turkey, he always fails. How about the Ultimate Surfer?
No!
Or the Power Slap?
They didn't do well with stuff.
As for Dana's character, it speaks for itself. I don't even have to say anything about a guy who publicly slapped his own wife and whose own mother wrote a book about what a terrible person her son is. And it's available on Amazon if you want to read it yourself. Now, for the big question, will I work with Dana in the future if he's in the boxing space? Sure, because 80% of the folks I deal with in boxing are scumbags anyway. Until then, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I will continue making the best fights on the zone. So remember, folks, you're never a hater when you only speak the facts.
There's a lot.
Oscar is on it. He's even promoting Dana White's mom's book. Oh my goodness.
Their relationship is so crazy, but he does bring up a couple valid points. 1, they don't have a roster. 2, they're in it for the long haul. Those are not bad things, and I think people have to understand that.
No.
You're building a model, right, where you're trying to continue to build your own talent. Now, in regards to signing other fighters, I think that's what Turkey came in terms of trying to build relationships with some of these guys. But again, longevity is where it's at because these guys got to retire. Tank doesn't want to fight long.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, people always talked about when Uncle Turk just got back on the scene, got on the scene, not back on the scene. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, all these other promoters are going to disappear. Well, no, we talked about that. They're not going to disappear because they have these contracts with these fighters that, you know, if they do well, that Uncle Turk's going to want to scoop them up when the contracts are over. The thing is that the thing I don't agree with that Oscar said was about the model, the pay model. He said that the Ryans and the Canelos won't take the money. Well, no, they don't have to because Uncle Turk has made it clear that Riyadh season is going nowhere.
Absolutely.
But for like the guys that fight on Pro Box, which I love Pro Box, by the way.
Shout out to Pro Box.
They're not making this money. They're not making this money that Dana has put out. So for those guys, this looks very appetizing and appealing. And then once they surpass, you know, the 750 as a defender, that's when here comes Riyadh season. You know, with the big bucks, in my opinion.
Good point. That's a very good point.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that was well said. You're very intelligent. You know, you must be a boxing trainer, been in this sport for a long time. But no, I think you're hitting it on the head, to be honest with you. And you know, to add to what you were saying, yeah, Turkey's going to be there, right? And the majority of Oscar was kind of speaking for the minority in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of these guys are not getting 750 for a title defense. Hence, a lot of the women, a lot of the men are not getting that.
Exactly.
Select few. Now, having said that, I'm with you. I think that's when Turkey's going to step in and say, okay, we're going to pay them a little bit more, or things go up. Now you're in the boxing space. Maybe these boxers get smarter and they unionize. I don't know. But to your point in terms of the promoters as well, I feel like one of the major disappointments for promoters is getting fights. Some of these guys can't even get them. And Dana's promising them at least 3-4 fights a year. Let's say you're getting 50,000. That's close to a quarter.
That's a tall order, especially when at this stage, he doesn't have any boxers signed with him. So to promise the potential of 3 to 4 fights a year, that is a tall order.
Yeah, but I guarantee, and that's why I think the acquisitions of some of these organizations, like a Top Rank, who they've already tried to acquire Turkey, I think that's what's going to happen. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he reaches out to guys like even with Pro Box, or those guys are going everywhere. There's a lot of boxers out there, so I don't think he's going to have a problem of getting fighters. It's maybe the quality of fighter. You know what I mean? And the one thing that Dana has done well as shed the light on some of these fighters that maybe you have not known before, similar to what he's done in UFC. So I think with the fact that these guys are going to get paid a certain amount, get seen a lot more, get more opportunities. Listen, I speak to a lot of boxers, and I'm like, yo, when's your next fight? Well, I don't know. I'm dealing with this promoter. We're dealing with this. He doesn't want to pay X amount of money. They're trying to jerk me for this. And Dana's sitting there saying, well, we got 25,000 and we'll get you to fight 4 times a year. You just made 6 figures. So
yeah, he's gonna have to pay to get people out of contracts. Like, it's just not. I don't know. MAW has such a great point too. I'm not the biggest fan of Dana, to be honest. Maybe prospects can run through there, but bail out before becoming champions, because champions get stuck in contracts where they're extended. Absolutely, that's exactly 100% right. I mean. You win, you start winning or whatever, you're stuck in the contract for another year, another 2 years, whatever, unless you have a really, really good manager to negotiate some things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's another thing I think, and this is one thing people are gonna learn too, is Dana's going after those big prospects as well. Don't think not. And the fact
he can't legally talk to them. Not legally. No. He can get on, his channels and just put stuff out there, but he can't legally talk to them. 100%. And this is exactly what you said, about poaching from Pro Box. I can see that.
I can see Pro Box. There's a lot of organizations out there that don't get as much light.
Red Owl.
Yeah. And we got to talk about this. Oscar didn't close the door to working with him. He said,
he likes money.
Yeah, he said, I've worked with 85. Would I not work with him? Would I work with him? Absolutely. I'm used to working with comebacks. So he left the door wide open to work with Golden Boy.
Of course.
Work with a lot. And think about it. Golden Boy has a lot of prospects as well that they're not giving fights to. Why not let them fight over there and build a type of relationship with them? And now you're still good with Turkey. You can still make your money. Your fighters are getting big money. They're getting more notoriety. Maybe you don't have to pay as much. I think it makes sense. Oscar handled it pretty well. He didn't sell himself out because of Dana. They obviously don't like each other, but money makes things go away. And I think
it does.
And I think that's why he threw the Top Rank thing out there, because that was random. Why would he just throw that out there out of nowhere with Top Rank? It almost seemed as if he was throwing them a bone, like, hey, Dana, by the way, Turkey, these guys are up for grabs soon. You can grab them. I'm just being real. Why else would Top Rank be in this video when it's about Dana? Like, when I first seen it, I was like, hey, this doesn't make any sense.
Because he found some dirt. He found some dirt, and that's what he does on Clapback Thursday.
He could have put it on any other video.
I know what you're saying.
He said it got announced in February. There's a reason why he did that. And I think Oscar's throwing little Easter eggs in there, like, by the way, guys, this is what we could do. And I think Oscar's very smart. MAW's entry of TKO will likely eventually disrupt tradition of existing undisputed, unified for 4. That's not a bad thing. We don't even get the fights anyway. We're at 135, and we're talking about can we get Gervonta and these guys to unify?
Hey, we already know that he and Uncle Turk want to do away with all the sanctioning bodies and want to get rid of all the belts. So it's like
the fans want every other day. Oh, we just made an interim unified 100.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. It's the biggest sham in the world. And I think that they're preparing themselves and they're seeing what the fans are seeing. And listen, whether you like UFC or not, there was another event last night. There's another one every week.
Mm-hmm.
This is what these people want. They want to fight. They become fighters to fight.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get paid. I think it is for the long haul. I think he's right. I do believe Dana White will be working with Oscar De La Hoya, to be honest with you.
They're all gonna be in bed together.
I think some of them are going to get bought out. I believe Top Rank will be bought out. I'm telling you. Some of these
Really? Gosh, I don't dare say that. Not right now. But you said it. Hey, y'all heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, man, like lawsuits can take you out. And
I know, yeah. Especially with big money that they're working with. Absolutely.
And then, again, Bob Arum is 94 years old. Just all remember this.
Yeah. Who's he going to leave it to? I mean, obviously not Todd.
No, absolutely. That guy might be in jail. But, clapback Thursday to be twice a week. They need to do Tuesday and Thursday. It's really good. Alexander Woodson, I think people underestimate the power of TKO. I think TKO buys Hearn and Warren first and then try to look at the rest. I'm telling you, Christine, there's going to be a lot of buyouts. Listen, I know Christine has to go, so I'm going to say this before we go. Remember, boxing is the only sport possibly in America that is not monopolized. The NFL is monopolized. The NBA is monopolized. Major League Baseball is monopolized. The NHL is monopolized. Just remember that. Boxing is going to take its turn. It's going to happen.
It's not looking too good.
Yeah,
it is. Well, it is. It is looking good. It is.
No, it is. But I think it's going to be a bunch of rich billionaires eventually. We're going to sign these guys, and these promotional companies are going to be like franchises and marketing and trading for these guys, and scouting these guys.
Yeah, it's very interesting the way things are in 2025 starting to look.
Yeah, hopefully. I told them
the good thing is that the boxers are going to be getting paid more in the very near future, and but we do still want to see the best fighting the best. So we got to fix that.
Yeah, and I think that's what Turkey's trying to do. He's showed an emphasis on that, making the big fights happen. And I think it's a good combination, and I think we're going to start seeing that very soon. And again, beginning September 13th, we're going to see what exactly Dana and Turkey got going on, because they're going to unveil it. Turkey's been quiet; they're going to unveil it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I know you got to go, Christine. I know you
got to get to the gym. Got my guys waiting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. Oh, you're good. I told them, hey, I'll be there.
They love you. They love you.
I love y'all. I love people. I love all the chat. Love working with you. This is great. I love it. This is just what a way to start my morning.
Yeah, there's almost 300 people. There's 245. Appreciate everybody.
Amazing. Appreciate everybody. Yes, thank you so much.
We're gonna let Christine get out of here.
Yes.
You got to start doing that. Oscar's the man with that.
He is. Hey, we got to come up with our own something. Come on. I'm not going to bite off Oscar. We're going to come up with our own stuff.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my pads.
What the fuck you going to
do? There you go.
Is it possible?
Is it possible is good.
Is it possible,
Dana? See, that was
everybody have a great day. I am going to head to the gym. We will see you again Wednesday morning and Friday morning, and then Wednesday night is my girl Nika's birthday, and we will be celebrating on Women Crushing It Wednesdays. And we also have Juju Balo on there. He is a very nice and talented young man. So tune in 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Everybody have a good day.
Get out of here, Christine. Have fun at the gym. Oh, Christine's out here. Make sure you tune into In the Ring at Christine. That's my girl. Smash that like button, hit the share button, hit the notifications button, share, like. Let's continue to help this podcast grow. We're growing very fast. You see right there, we have over 300 people in the chat, or close to 300 people in the chat. Let's continue to push this. to the next level. We're going to continue to give you great content. Again, I'll be back on with Christine Wednesday and Friday, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9, whatever it is. Am I hanging? I'll take another question if you want. I got to get to my kids, MAW. But yeah, you know, I got to do that. I got to edit. There's a lot of stuff. It's very tough. I need a team. I need somebody who wants to edit some of these videos on the show and put out some of the stuff because it's just tough, man. It's tough doing all this stuff at one time. It really is. But yeah. Man, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, please make sure y'all tune in. You know, it is what it is. But I'm gonna get out of here. It's your boy Norbs. Thank you. God bless. Let's continue to grow this channel. Let's continue to grow the show. It's your boy, and we are out of here. What?